Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. I am Yasha Franklin Hodge, the chair of the Public Improvement Commission, and I will call to order the Public Improvement Commission hearing of August 22nd, 2024. Mr. Liming, would you please take a roll call?
Certainly. Would the representative from the Public Works Department please state their name for the record?
Yasha Franklin Hodge.
Property Management Department, please do the same.
Joseph Callahan.
Transportation Department.
Gordon.
Water and Sewer Commission.
Denise Davlin.
Commission for Persons with Disabilities.
Sarah Leon.
I don't believe we have anybody from ISD here today. Hearing none. We may have someone join later, but we do have a quorum.
All right, thank you very much, Todd. On to our first item of business, hearing minutes 1, the request to the Public Improvement Commission staff, the acceptance of the minutes of the PIC hearing held on August 8th, 2024. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Minutes of August 8th, 2024. Sorry.
Second.
No worries.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. It's very enthusiastic for the minutes. All right. Next item of business, public hearing number 1 on a joint petition by 22 Dry Dock LLC and the Boston Economic Development and Industrial Corporation for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in South Boston, consisting of curb realignment, roadway and sidewalk reconstruction, as well as new and relocated pedestrian ramps, specialty pavement, street lighting infrastructure, street trees and structural soil, planters, landscaping, bike racks, driveway curb cuts, and protected bicycle facilities. Dry Dock Avenue, generally at address number 22 west of Tide Street. Northern Avenue, generally at address numbers 331 to 339 northeast of Tide Street. Tide Street between Dry Dock Avenue and Northern Avenue. This was new business on August 8th, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Specific Repair Plan, Dry Dock Avenue, Tide Street, Private Way, South Boston, 5 sheets dated February 2024. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, give us a very brief reintroduction to this project, and let us know about any changes since your new business here.
Good morning, my name is Chris Ani. I am with Niche Engineering. I'm joined here by Craig Wood and Paul Flores from Related Beal. So 22 Dry Dock Ave, we were here 2 weeks ago for the new business hearing. It is a life science building in the Boston Marine Industrial Park. It's at the location of the old 22 Dry Dock building. I mean, it's the same address, but it's where there was a bunch of city offices there, and then adjacent to the EDIC garage. Essentially, it's new streetscape work. We're closing a few curb cuts, adding some improvements to the sidewalk. Not widening the sidewalks, but adding some greenscaping improvements, landscaping improvements, and just general sidewalk improvements. We do have a couple changes since the previous hearing. Todd had sent us some comments from the Public Works Department, which we had addressed. We added in the reconstruction of this ramp in front of the Innovation Design Building. It was probably going to be destroyed through our construction anyway, so we figured we might as well reconstruct it. And we also added in a detail for this ramp here, and a request that was made at the previous hearing. We just noted on the plan that these reciprocal ramps are supposed to be replaced by the 24 Dry Dock project, but if that project doesn't go forward, we're putting that on the plan that this project will install some compliant ramps. But those are the only changes that we've made since the previous hearing. So I'll open it up to any questions.
Thank you very much. Appreciate those updates. Commissioners, questions?
Thank you so much for the presentation. With the reconstruction of the paired ramp that was added in between new business and public hearing, will the reciprocal ramp also be reconstructed?
So the reciprocal ramp, so it looks to be compliant based on the survey that we have. So I don't think that it needs to be reconstructed, and not just, the technical warning strip is in place and it has a slope that is currently compliant. So I don't think it needs to be reconstructed.
Could we add a note if it is compliant just to the plans to ensure that it's documented?
Sure.
All right, hearing no other questions from the commissioners, PAC staff or members of the public.
I will take this opportunity to remind the public, if you wish to add testimony or ask questions, please use the raised hand function at the bottom of your screen. I do not see any at this time, and I don't have any questions or comments at this time either.
All right, excellent. Then do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 1?
I'll make a motion to approve a joint petition by 22 Dry Dock LLC and the Boston Economic Development and Industrial Corporation for the making of specific repairs in Dry Dock Ave, Northern Ave, and Tide Street, as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
On to public hearing number 2 on a petition by the Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in Dorchester, consisting of curb realignment, sidewalk reconstruction, as well as new and relocated pedestrian ramps and green stormwater infrastructure. Dorchester Avenue, generally at Bailey Street at Dorchester Avenue, Huron Path between Beale Street and Van Winkle Street. This was new business on August 8th, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Specific Repair Plan, Ashmont Station, Dorchester Avenue, Huron Path, Dorchester, 5 sheets dated July 2024. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and give us a very brief reintroduction to this project, along with any updates from your last hearing.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Mike Duby. I work with Jacobs, and I'm here on behalf of the MBTA. Can you see my screen?
We can.
Perfect. So just give a brief introduction to this project. These repairs are being completed on behalf of the MBTA's System-Wide Accessibility Groups program to remove barriers to accessibility at multiple locations throughout the MBTA station or system. The improvements here today are for 2 locations around the MBTA Ashmont station. First location, as shown on the screen, is at the intersection of Dorchester Ave, Bailey Street, and the Ashmont busway exit. The improvements propose to reconstruct the pedestrian ramps at the southeastern and southwestern corners of the intersection and to confirm compliance of the reciprocal ramps. There are additional improvements being made within the MBTA busway as part of this project that will connect to the improvements shown on these plans. The second location is along the Huron Path between Beale Street and Van Winkle Street. The improvements propose to remove the existing steps at Van Winkle Street and replace these steps with a compliant pedestrian sloped walkway to remove that staircase barrier of accessibility. Since the staircase is over at Van Winkle Street, we're also proposing to reconstruct the path between the staircase and Beale Street, providing a compliant cement concrete sidewalk. It's worth noting that this path is located within an existing 5-foot wide easement, city easement. At our last hearing, there were questions regarding the maintenance of this path. The MBTA currently performs the snow removal along this path and will continue to perform the snow removal in the future. So that is something that we are going to note. There was also a comment from the planning department to refer to the sloped walkway down here as a sloped walkway rather than a ramp, just for accessibility. There's a difference in how those are noted, so we'll make sure that that makes it into the final plans. So that's the project here in front of you today.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate the commitment on continued snow removal along the path. It's great to have that clarified formally here. Commissioners, questions? PIC staff or members of the public?
All set?
All right, excellent. With that, do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 2?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by the Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority for the making of specific repairs in Dorchester Ave, Bailey Street, and Huron Path, as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. Thank you very much.
Awesome, thank you.
On to our next item of business, public hearing number 3 on a petition by Vicinity Energy Boston Incorporated for grant of location to install a new steam distribution main and associated infrastructure with city shadow within the following public ways in South Boston. Binford Street, generally between A Street and Necco Street, A Street at Binford Street. This was new business on August 8th, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Grant Application Plan 244 to 284 A Street, Boston, 21 sheets dated April 19th, 2023. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, give us a brief reintroduction to this project, along with any updates since your last hearing.
Great, thank you. Good morning, my name is Don Sylvia. I'm the Regional Vice President at Vicinity Energy here in Boston. We appreciate this opportunity to present the proposed expansion as previously shown in new business. Along with me today are Trimont Engineering, Ken Stanley and Orion Anderson, who are representing Vicinity in this project, along with my engineering staff, Jason Clark and Matt Keogh. And I'll turn it over to Orion for the details on the project.
Good morning, everyone. There have been no changes to this plan set since the first meeting. We had a successful meeting last week with Tom Reddy and Community Outreach discussing traffic patterns and construction layout. And otherwise, there has been no improvements based on any comments from this committee.
All right, commissioners, questions? If I'm recalling correctly, and forgive me if this is repetitive, but I believe there was a question last time about just the nature of the service that is being purchased here and what could be shared, if anything, with the commission about that. So I just want to see if there's any additional information about the nature of the steam product that you are able to share with us.
No, thank you for the reminder. I did go back and check, so a couple of things on that. So we're confirmed that this infrastructure will be capable of carrying 100% of our e-steam product, right, and other products that will be carbon-free. The discussions with the developer are still ongoing, so as far as the exact breakout, I don't really have that for you. I did also confirm that other projects in the area as they develop, whether it be some related projects that are very close to this or along A Street, up in the Gillette area, will also be able to enjoy that benefit. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I mean, with appreciation for the limits of what may be known or what is shareable in a context like this, I think that is helpful, and I'm glad to see that this system expansion is compatible with the goals that you've set forth around electrification and decarbonization of the steam product, and obviously the process that will take some time and involve many stakeholders and is not fundamentally in the purview of the commission, but we want to make sure that the infrastructure that we are granting you license to have is compatible with the long-term goals of the city when it comes to decarbonization. So I appreciate that update and the continued work on that aspect of your service portfolio.
And we also appreciate your interest.
Indeed. So with that, PIC staff or members of the public?
Tom Reddy, 4 Point Neighborhood Association, please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Todd, members of the commission. We did meet, as Owen indicated, on August 14th last week. Did a site walk with the Vicinity team. We appreciate them setting some time aside for us. We discussed a few things and agreed on a few things. I just want to make sure we get it noted for the record. It will displace, the work will displace 24-hour resident parking. Vicinity agreed to purchase and bag city meters along A Street. I think the total number is on or around 17 when the work is underway. That would replace the resident parking that's going to be displaced as a result of this. We discussed the vacuum truck work that probably will be needed, not to start prior to 9 a.m. because it is pretty noisy and the work area is adjacent to a multi-residential building. Don, I just ask you not to also do it on Saturdays. And then lastly, along A Street, there's a portion of the work that's going to take place in proximity to the curb line on A at the intersection of Binford. There's a cycle path that runs along that curb line. When the hole is dug, we were concerned about safety of cyclists going down A Street, and vicinity was going to work on a hard solution, not just cones, to protect folks from falling in. So those were the three things that were covered. So Don, hopefully recapping what the conversation was.
I think you accurately captured it, Tom, and obviously, as with the last time that we worked out there, it's a fluid situation, and we pledged to work alongside the neighborhood to make sure that we're meeting your needs.
Totally agree, Don, thank you. And so with that, we're in support of the project, Chief.
Thank you very much, Tom, as always, for your diligence and attention to things happening in the neighborhood. I really appreciate it. PIC staff, Todd, anything else?
No, I will just mention for the record that the project confirmed that they are working with MassDOT on any potential impacts to the highway tunnel in this area. Don, feel free to add to that if you want, but I have no concerns with that at this time.
No, I would just say that the project's in the SHAP process right now, and they have issued questions and we have issued answers. So I think right now the ball is somewhat in MassDOT's court.
All right. Hearing nothing else, do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 3?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by Vicinity Energy Boston Inc. for a grant of location in Binford Street and A Street as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You all. Appreciate it.
Right, on to our next item, public hearing number 4 on a petition by Jupiter Power LLC, DBA Trimount ESS LLC for a grant of location to install a new electric duct bank and associated infrastructure with city shadow within the following public ways in Charlestown: Alfred Street southwest of Dexter Street between Alfred Street and the City of Everett boundary. This was new business on August 8th, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Grant of Location Plan, Alfred Street, Dexter Street, Charlestown, 3 sheets dated April 23rd, 2024. Would the proponents please introduce themselves and their affiliations, give us a very brief reintroduction to the project, as well as any changes or follow-ups from your last hearing.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Hans Detweiler. I'm Senior Director at Jupiter Power. I'm the lead project developer on the site, and I'm joined today by Lisa Chow, who's an engineer at VHB and is helping us with this, as well as Alexis Kachuk, who is our counsel. To briefly restate the company and the project, Jupiter Power is an owner, operator, and developer of battery energy projects that provide wholesale services to the grid. We provide battery energy projects that support the entire grid, not sort of behind-the-meter projects that support individual companies. We're very happy to be here and looking forward to having a flagship project in Boston and Everett and in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Next slide, please. Briefly restating the purpose of the project, batteries are very fast acting and provide a number of grid resiliency services. Primary purpose of the project is to support the decarbonization and the transition of the grid to wind and solar resources as the primary energy resources on the grid. Those are fantastic resources, but they're not always dispatchable. You can't always turn them on when you want if there's no wind or solar available, so batteries play that role. The location of the project is very much not an accident. We're located in close proximity to the Mystic Electric substation. This substation, if it was if it was a highway, would be an interstate highway intersecting a couple of significant state highways. It's a very robust location, and there's an anticipation there will be future offshore wind delivered into the site as well, with an ideal location for battery energy storage. Next slide. As I mentioned, project is very consistent with decarbonization activities and is certainly consistent with Boston's climate reduction goals. Project would be approximately 700 megawatts, which is about enough energy to power 500,000 homes for about 4 hours. Project will support the remediation of a historically contaminated site. In terms of updates since the last time we spoke, one, I'm happy to say that the project has been endorsed by the Sierra Club, so we're pleased to have that support. And second, there was some discussion at the last hearing about needed improvements in the area, and Jupiter Power is happy to commit to working with the city and other stakeholders to improve the local facilities and figure out what makes the most sense in those areas. I did come to work this morning on a 10-mile bike ride, 9 miles of which was public bike paths, so personally happy to support improved infrastructure.
Excellent. Thanks very much. I hope it was a nice day for a ride. I hope you enjoyed it. We appreciate that and appreciate the willingness to work with the team on those infrastructure changes if the opportunity presents itself. And as has been discussed, I mean, I think we know that typically we like to approve grants of location and any accompanying specific repairs at the same time, but understanding that this project is quite a ways from construction and that the grant of location is an important step in the larger regulatory approval process for this project, we're happy to separate those things out with the commitment that you will work with our teams to look for opportunities and then, as appropriate, come back for administrative or full review of any changes that are deemed to be appropriate to accompany this project. All right, with that, commissioners, any questions, comments?
Oh, yeah, yes, this is Denise Devon from Boston Water and Sewer. I just received a few comments. For today's petition, we're just going to say it's contingent upon our approval. That there are just a few minor comments that need to be addressed through the engineering customer service process. Thank you.
All right, commissioners, other comments, questions? PIC staff or members of the public?
No, all set.
All right. With that, do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 4?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by Jupiter Power LLC, DBA Trimount ESS LLC for a grant of location in Alfred Street and Dexter Street as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. Thank you very much, and good luck with the next steps along the way with this project.
Thank you. We look forward to working with you.
Likewise. All right, on to our next item, public hearing number 5 on a petition by 375 Cummins LLC for the acceptance of a pedestrian easement adjacent to Cummins Highway Public Way, West Roxbury, located on its southwesterly side at address number 375, generally southeast of Mount Calvary Road. This was new business on August 8th, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Pedestrian Easement Plan 375 Cummins Highway, Public Way, Roslindale, one sheet dated May 2024. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, give us a brief reintroduction to the project, and then and this specific action, and any changes since your new business hearing.
Sorry, I was on mute. Thank you. Good morning, Commissioner Franklin Hodges, PIC members and staff. I'm Attorney John Pulcino on behalf of 375 Cummins LLC. Thank you for having us here this morning. We have 2 actions before you this morning. The first is a pedestrian easement that we will be granting to the city. This easement will provide 6 feet of depth of the project's frontage to allow for 10+ foot sidewalk width in front of the proposal. The second is our specific repairs plan, which provides the following public realm improvements. We're providing new siding and sidewalks and granite curbing the length of our site. We are adding a curb cut to access our garage. The installation of 2 new street lights requested from the Street Lights Department. 3 pedestrian ramps, 2 of which will be on either side of the Stop and Shop driveway, and 1 across the street. That was requested from Disabilities. And 2 new street trees to be contained in 6x4 tree pits. We had been working with the BPDA. As you guys know, we tried to, one of our public realm benefits or commitment was to put a bus shelter across the street on the other side of Cummins Highway. Unfortunately, the sidewalk is only 7 foot 9 inches there, so that did not work. However, our BPA board memo provided for a $41,000 commitment in public realm improvements. We have added to that significantly, approximately over 80% of what we additionally signed on to. And there's also, that would leave a $51,000 commitment for public realm improvements outside of the physical things that were under the specific repairs. That money can be used toward replacing the sidewalk across the street, or perhaps toward the island at the intersection of Cummins, American Legion, and Canterbury, as requested by Ms. Beaton in our last new business here. Thanks, I'm here to answer any questions.
Thank you, John. This particular action is the easement, pedestrian easement, but so we'll kind of take them as 2, but appreciate the overall update on this. No, all good. Commissioners, any questions, comments related to the pedestrian easement? All right, hearing none, PIC staff or members of the public?
No, we're all set on the easement.
All right, do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 5?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by 375 Cummins LLC for the acceptance of a pedestrian easement in Cummins Highway as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. On to public hearing number 6 on a petition by 375 Cummins LLC for the making of specific repairs within Cummins Highway, Public Way, West Roxbury, generally located at address number 375, generally southeast of Mount Calvary Road, consisting of curb and sidewalk reconstruction, as well as new and relocated pedestrian ramps, street lighting infrastructure, street trees with structural soil, green stormwater infrastructure, and driveway curb cuts. This was new business on August 8th, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Specific Repairs Plan, 375 Cummins Highway, Rosendale, 1 sheet dated July 4th, 2024, revised August 5th, 2024. Would the proponents please reintroduce themselves and their affiliations? And I think we've already have the full overview, so if there's anything else you want to add on this action, otherwise we can jump straight to questions.
Thank you. I apologize for that. Again, good morning.
No
Judges, PIC board members and staff, Attorney John Pulpini on behalf of 375 Cummins LLC. We went through what the improvements will be, so I'll stand with that.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, questions on these specific repairs?
Hi, thank you so much for the presentation. Do you happen to have a plan showing the ramps at the intersection and the configuration of what those would look like?
No, we do not. We will have that updated prior to this going to Mylar to be recorded and have that approved by you.
Great, thank you. And I think one other outstanding item we had was the resetting of the bus stop to ensure that it's not impinging on the 5-foot path of travel, if that's addressed as well.
Exactly correct. So that would be moved back into the easement area to provide for the clear path of travel. Very good question. Sorry, I didn't break that up in the presentation.
All right, commissioners, other questions? Just a question for me. So, we heard some, a couple of folks came to provide public testimony at the new business hearing related to this project. I think some of that was related to the needs of the overall surrounding area. I did hear, a concern expressed or questions asked about the driveway and the potential for pedestrian vehicle conflicts at the driveway entrance. So I wanted to ask the proponents if there's any additional thoughts in response to any of those concerns that were raised, or any additional evaluation that's been done to just assess the safety of this condition.
Very good question, and I think we will work with BTD in installing some sort of a warning signal to prevent anybody from, any unfortunate incident for happening from that. So we'll work with them, whatever guidance states we will follow.
All right, excellent. I appreciate that willingness to work, and we got some good general feedback from the city on things we can be doing in the neighborhood above and beyond this project. So always good to see the public perspective reflected here. All right, PAC staff or members of the public.
No, just a reminder that we will need those plan updates, as Sarah and John mentioned, before Mylars are submitted.
Yep.
Great.
Thanks.
Excellent. Hearing nothing else, do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 6?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by 375 Cummins LLC for the making of specific repairs in Cummins Highway as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, on to our next section and final item, new business 1, Chelsea Street, Terminal Street, Charlestown, specific repairs on a joint petition by the City of Boston Public Works Department and the City of Boston Transportation Department. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and walk us through what is proposed here?
Hey, good morning, Chairman, members of the commission. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right, thank you, Chief. My name is Jeffrey Alexis with the Public Works Engineering Division, co-petitioning with the Boston Transportation Department to propose traffic and signal pedestrian improvements at the intersection of Chelsea intersection. I'm joined here by our design consultant, Jeff Sautel from Niche, and just want to provide a quick background on the project in coordination with the BPDA, the Autoport, Massport, as well as the Mystic River Watershed Association. This project was initiated to provide pedestrian access in conjunction with the proposed Harbor Walk extension. Throughout the design process, we have coordinated with all stakeholders and pertinent party members to address pedestrian access while maintaining and not impeding truck access and the operations of the Autoport. With that, I will turn over to Jeff from Niche to kind of go over some of the improvements that we are proposing. Jeff, we can't hear you.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me this time?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, we can.
Thank you, and I'm assuming you can see my screen as well, hopefully.
Yes.
All right, so good morning. Thanks for this opportunity to present. My name is Jeff Sautel from Niche Engineering. Here we go. Existing curb lines are wide open. There's a lot of pavement, sea of pavement coming off this bridge here. We are going to tighten up the intersection at Terminal Chelsea, make it more of a T, provide some signalization to control traffic motion, and provide pedestrian access to the new path along the Little Mystic Bay here, performed by a third party. There'll be some sidewalk widening, curb line relocation along the north edge of Terminal Street to account for straightening the intersection, and pedestrian phase, exclusive pedestrian phase for the crossing at Chelsea Street here, and not sure. I guess that's it. I'll open up to questions, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll also add that we're proposing a driveway entrance into the Autoport to accommodate one of the design vehicles that were proposed by the Autoport. It's a 200-foot trailer to address, I believe, the wind turbine deliveries to the Autoport. So ideally, I mean, with the proposal of the traffic signals and the posts, I think it would impede, the turning movements of this vehicle. So we wanted to provide direct access from Chelsea Street into the Autoport, and this will be used as needed by the Autoport.
Thank you, Jeff, for that. And just want to, before I open up to the Commission for questions, I just want to acknowledge how unusual and complex of a location this is, given some of those distinctive requirements. I don't know anywhere else in the city where 200 feet is a design vehicle length. So I appreciate the work that's been done to try to both accommodate the unique nature and needs of this location while still providing the level of safety for all road users that is so essential everywhere in Boston. So thank you for the work on this. With that, I will open it up to commissioners for questions or comments. None. All right. PAC staff or members of the public?
I'll just remind the public, if you wish to add testimony or ask questions, please use the raised hand function at the bottom of your screen. I do not see any at this time, though.
Hi, Todd. This is Sarah Lee from Massport. I do not have the raise hand function over here. Would I just be able to respond?
Go ahead, Sarah. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Hi, this is Sarah Lee, the manager of transportation planning. Just want to thank everybody for presenting this and for sharing the plans. My understanding is that the plans shared today are not totally final, that there's still some comments from Massport that are going to be incorporated. I would just ask that as the plans get finalized, that we be looped in to that process so we can have a final set of plans.
Sir.
Yes, absolutely. There were some comments from Massport. We did look at addressing them, mainly in regards to pavement marking improvements. We are maintaining the curb lines as shown here, which is what we're trying to kind of get through in terms of PIC. But in terms of, the signal phasing, in terms of the pavement markings, those are still ongoing, will be completed as part of the construction documents. Massport is included on the distribution list for those plans, and we'll provide them. And I'll add you, Sarah. I believe we've been sending them to, Connor. We've been sending them to. So I'll add you to the distribution list as well.
That'd be great. Thanks. He's on paternity leave. I appreciate that. Thank you.
This is John O'Donnell with Diversified Automotive at the Boston Autoport. I too do not have a raised hand function. So I hope this is okay. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Go right ahead.
Okay, so I just have a question. Was there ever a traffic count conducted as part of this project?
Is there a traffic count conducted as part of this project? I do not believe there was a specific traffic count for this project. I believe we used the BTD traffic figures that were provided for us. I will double check and make sure I get that information for the next hearing.
So I too have been made aware of some of the plans. It's not my industry to read plans, but one thing I would just like to truly understand is the light cycle that is the future plan, because underneath the Moran Access Road is the main terminal gate for Boston Autoport, and it is a very busy gate. In addition to moving my product by truck and my tenant's product, which is a salt business, which gets very, very busy, across the roadway underneath the Tobin Bridge to the Mystic Pier is my access to my vehicle processing center. Now, 8 years ago now, we built $17 million building there to be able to process the Subaru product, to accessorize it prior to shipping out of the Boston Auto Terminal port. So what we do is we load these vehicles onto our car carriers, which are 80 foot in length. And to understand, right now, there is a stop sign without any type of mechanical lighting situation now that grants the flow of access, which does not impede or block my main gate into the Boston Auto Port. So I'd just like an understanding of what the plan is for the light cycle that will guarantee that I won't have any type of obstruction to getting both the trucks for my business, my tenant's business, as well as my automobiles from the Moran terminal over to the Mystic Pier.
Oh, thank you, John. So yes, I mean, absolutely, we have been working with Diversified Auto in regards to these plans, as well as the signal phasing and timing. We are making updates to the signal timing and phasing. We did receive a comments from the 75-100% design submission from the Transportation Department. We're ultimately going to be taking their direction on how the signals need to function. The initial proposed design that we have for the signal functions timing, there was some issues in terms of conflicts. There was an additional phase that they have requested. We're going to sit down and talk with the Transportation Department to figure out essentially how to make this intersection safe. We understand that it's currently just stop controlled, but as you're aware and as you know, with the additional of the Harbor Walk extension, it's going to have a lot of pedestrians here, and we have to provide additional signal control in terms of to improve that safety for those pedestrians that have been crossing here. So we will have those plans, we will have those updates for you as soon as we get actual signal timing and phasing design that is approved by the Transportation Department. I will share it with you, and we'll continue that conversation just so that you're aware. But ultimately, like as I mentioned, like it's about making this intersection safe for all modes of transportation, and we're ultimately going to have to follow that direction.
Well, I appreciate that, and I want it to be safe as well. I'd just like to make sure that I have an opportunity to understand what the plan is.
Yes, absolutely.
It's just dropped upon us without a true understanding of how it may adversely affect my current business.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, as I mentioned, like the intersection will function differently because now it would be signal controlled. But yeah, I think the intent of this project and one of the goals of this project is to not impede traffic operations for the auto port. So happy to work with you on this. And as soon as we get those get that squared away, I'll share the signal phasing, and I'll have somebody from the Transportation Department available to answer any questions and kind of express why we need to go in this direction, whichever direction that is.
Yeah, so I'm not the only, I guess, leaseholder or property owner down that uses the Moran Access Road. I don't know if there are any other of those tenants and or property owners on this call, but I don't, it would make sense if they were a part of this process as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I got a list. What do you mean? It's just a Rolodex of all the individuals that have been involved in terms of the design from Massport, from Autoport, as well as BPDA. So I'll whenever we get this squared away, I'll send out an invite. I'll give people enough time to invite who needs to be involved in this conversation, and then you'll be allowed to send out invites to that meeting as well. So. We're not limited in who can be available, who can be involved in that conversation.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. Any other folks who would like to make a comment? All right. Hearing none. Todd, when is our next hearing?
So our next hearing is actually 3 weeks from today on September 12th.
All right. Will the proponents here be ready for their public hearing on September 12th in 3 weeks?
Yes, we should be ready.
All right. Excellent. Thank you very much. We will see you then.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much.
All right, and with that, we've reached the end of our agenda. So do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. See you in 3 weeks. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.